Okay, so I decided part of the things that I don't do too much is review things. Trying to get in the habit of that. So I decided like every week um, I'd make a weekly sort of practice session videos. And basically it's just to pick apart my mind for myself. Um, so I'll basically just be practicing the tech I need to polish up on or want to practice. Um, and basically have a weekly discussion on the topic. This one is currently my mentality. It's something that I kind of have to go back and look at. Um, uh, so yeah, it's gonna be a weekly thing. So about like every week, there's gonna be one of these, and again, primarily it's for myself, so I can go back, review things, sort of pick my mind at this time. Um, so yeah, uh, what the tech skill I kind of want to practice is just consistency with things. I really hope that the controller isn't too loud. The room I'm in is kind of echoey, so. Um, but part of the problem about my tech is I have pretty good movement, pretty good dash dancing. The problem is I don't have a lot of good follow-ups. Um, I'll follow up pretty well with grabs. Um, so like if I get a grab, I can pretty much convert on an up throw, for tech chasing and everything like that. Sometimes a bit too hasty. A lot of people have found that if they spot dodge, I'll whiff. I'll whiff a lot of grabs and everything. I sort of go in too hastily. If I just waited a bit longer or wave dash down just to wait and to force a spot dodge or something, it would be a lot better. But part of the problem I have is I'm not exactly sure when I hit someone, uh, at what percents my attack will send them, at the angles that I send them. So it's all very reactionary, I guess. And so I've sort of learned since I don't know where exactly they're going, or even if I will hit them, I sort of just like throw things out. In sort of times that I sort of feel will hit them, and I basically hope that it does hit them. The more guarantee things, like if they're recovering, uh, I'll know. I'll know where I'll send them. Back air will send them back. But other than that, other than like a general direction, up, down, left, or right, I couldn't tell you the angle. Part of the problem with that is that's true with like I besides general direction, like I know if you get hit by Marv's up tilt, it'll send you up or something. His down air will send you down. So like obviously there are some oddities like Sheik's down air will send you up. I think it'll pop you up. But there's not too much of stuff like that. So in general, it's just like if I get hit by like a forward air, I expect myself to go forward. Um, and so, you know, I don't really DI too well. Kind of have to just practice on that. I have been practicing and doing a lot better with being with DIing mouse up tilt because it sort of saves you. Um, and so I have some things that I'm pretty good at DIing, but other thing, for the most part, I either don't or I hold down in a way, uh, just because again, I don't know at what percent actually really kill me. I don't exactly know where it sends me other than a general left, right, up, down direction, which I suppose is good enough, but I know that a lot of people obviously know the precise angles and therefore they DI better. But yeah, the another problem I have is that I really don't know too much about like the angles, the percentage of hits. So, you know, when I get a grab, it doesn't matter if you're at like, you know, 0% or if you're at like 100. I'm basically gonna try to do the same thing, which is, sorry, it's still in the morning for me. I'll still try doing something like a back up throw to back air, up throw, up tilt, up throw, up air. You know, just bread and butter type of things. If they DI back or you know, I tend to not follow that up, and I was just like, okay, well, you know, it resets to neutral. And that's the whole thing. Is my entire I think game plan is based upon just resetting back to neutral over and over and over again, and just basically hoping to win that, and then getting them at high enough percent to either kill with, you know, a back air, up air, you know, up smash or something. So you know, I don't really focus, or I'm not capable, if anything, of killing off of direct combos and punishes. Very seldom will I actually get a combo to actually kill a person. Most of the time I'm just happy with just hitting them once or twice and then just resetting back to neutral. Just because I'm more comfortable in the neutral than I am trying to get to pursue. Typically when I try to pursue someone, I'll over pursue and I'll get hit out of it, and then I'm just like, oh well, you know, that's then the momentum changes and I get a lot of percent eaten by that. I have a large problem with trying to shine Sheik's recovery when she vanishes. I get hit by the vanish a lot, a lot more than I should. I don't punish her recoveries enough because I get hit by the vanish. So I typically I'm too afraid getting hit out of my combos, and that's just because my combos and my punishes and my follow-ups to that aren't too good. You know, I don't exactly know when they're gonna get out of hit stun. I just know that if it's something in relative quickness, I'll be able to get a hit in. But other than that, it's not too consistent. So, which is bad because if I have a heavy neutral game as well, it basically, you know, that's me having to win neutral, and it's just a huge like, you know, who wins neutral over and over again. It can be pretty tiring. And it's also not consistent either at points. Like there, I didn't know that would send them kind of down. I just knew that it would send them to the left. So apparently neutral just sends you slightly, I don't know, up and then down, up. So we kind of just send you, yeah, it's just like, it pops you up a bit. I'm not so sure if that's the DI of the box that's sending them down, or it's just a fall. Yeah, like I don't even know. what percents, okay, so that kind of sends you up, and I don't know, it just seems like all attacks just send you in the same direction. I'm not so sure if that's like, that sends them slightly up at a curve, and then, yeah. I think that seems to send the same direction or angle as neutral. No, you know, back air sends you back. But part of also the reasons why I can't follow up is because I don't follow up on shuffles. Like I'll basically like, and then remain and start moving. If I get a nair in, it'll just be like, you know, I'll basically not follow up with. I'll basically stay in place. I'll run back. So, yeah. I also flub a lot of jump cancel grabs. I don't know what it is. I can boost grab more consistently than I can jump cancel grab. I always flub. It gets me punished so much. But that was not a jump cancel grab. I feel like I'm inputting the same thing. That wasn't either. I'm not so sure if I'm pressing grab or I don't know if it's the same time or I basically press the X button first and then I press Z. Kind of in rapid succession. They say that like you press at the same time, but if I press at the same time, like I just so inconsistent. Like. So I think it's just like, I think you have to press it at the same time. Yeah. What? That is okay, so that I don't know. It just seems like all attacks just send you in the same direction. I just don't know what like at what percents how far they're gonna fly either. So like I couldn't tell you. Like if I did the neutral air, I suppose he'd maybe get to the platform, the right platform. No, not even. So I really like, I don't know. Another thing that one of my podmates has told me is that I crouch cancel mainly at high percents. And he was just like, you surprisingly don't crouch cancel when you're at low percents, but when you're at high percents, you tend to crouch cancel things. And obviously it's not as effective when you're higher percent because things send you farther. And I was just like, oh, yeah, that really doesn't make sense. But for me, I think it does. Not, it's not good, but it makes sense because at Hypersense, there's just certain kill moves that people do. There's certain things that people want to hit you with, and at times, like at Hypersense, you know it. If you get out of a punish or a combo, you basically reset yourself to neutral, and it's very, it's very hard or harder for a person to follow up, cause you fly a longer distance, and so it's easier to know when I get hit at higher percents because it's less fast. I guess it's less like scrambles to get a hit in. It's less fast paced. So like at low percent, a person because of the low knockback can hit me like 3 times in like less than a second, while at higher percents, that one hit will maybe take like 10 seconds, just because we're playing the neutral and getting multiple hits in is a bit harder. So I'm more aware of when they're going to hit me. I'm more aware what moves they want to hit me with, depending on if I'm really high percent, depending on if I'm like moderate percent, like 80 to 100. So people get predictable when you get at a certain percent because they want to kill you with certain things, so they do certain moves, and that's easier for me to know when they want to throw out those attacks, and so I can crouch cancel them. So, but at no percent, I don't know. It's too fast, man. Like, it's too fast. I'd rather, like, I don't know at what percents crouch canceling start not working. So I'm afraid that there's gonna, they're gonna hit me out of it or something like that. And so I don't crouch cancel because I really don't know when it's effective or not. So rather than doing it and being punished for it, then if I don't and just play my normal game, then obviously that's not a good thing. It's basically a behavior based upon not having the adequate knowledge of doing something, which I need to polish up on. But part of me don't think it's really necessary at this point, knowing all that information. I mean, it always helps, but it's at this point I feel like what I really need to work on is just polishing up my neutral game, and really practicing my shuffles and everything like that, because I still don't have them pat. I tend to overpress my R key, button trigger thing. But yeah, I don't move fast enough out of a hit. So yeah, like I'll mainly do that, like I'll hit them and then I'll just basically move out. I'll basically do that. I tend to never fight. I always disengage instead of like engaging or continue to engage, moving with my opponent like forward and stuff like that. they've also, because of that, they also know that, like, they'll either roll forward. So if I go like this and hit them with a shine, they'll go forward, because they know I'm basically just gonna go back. Or what they'll do is I'll hit them and try to anticipate that they go more forward, and then they'll roll back. So, but if I keep moving, if I'm more consistent with following up on my arrows and stuff like that. And I have to press the R key a bit more lighter, because right now I sort of have a problem with full pressing it, and obviously that's not good. One, if you get hit and you out of your attack, you basically already pressed the button to tech, so you basically can't tech for another 40 frames. And I'm already pretty bad at teching. I have a lot of problems with teching. So not too helpful. I also don't use enough wave dash down. I used to, when I started, I abuse that shit. Like, I just wave dash down. I tend to not do that anymore. I have to start using that, because I sort of, one of the problems, as I stated before, is when I go in for a view grab off of a tech chase, they'll just spot dodge, and I'll just miss. And so I just need to wave dash down a bit more, just in occasions, just to wait, just up throw, I'll up throw, and then just wave dash down, just wait a bit. Yeah. And just in general, it's like wave shining. I don't do that consistently. Like, I just kind of get out. I retreat too much, and so even though I could technically wave shine towards him, I just, it's in habit to just just get out. So I also can't like rise in there yet. Not consistently, and certainly not short hop. See, I've been thinking about like trying to maybe like use Z, but I don't know. Yeah, so it's basically following up with things, which I'm having trouble doing because I just disengage, not used to overtly following them up. And part of the problem is that I'm so afraid of getting hit out of my own like advantage, because I lose momentum really easy. And so trying to get back that momentum is very, very hard for me. I need to fully reset. So if I get hit out of like if I up throw Moth and I basically they DI a up air, and like hit me with a back air or something or whatever it is, then I've lost complete momentum and it takes me I have to reset fully the situation to get back any, and that's to play the neutral again. And so I'll do some things instead of up air. I'll do a back air because I know that's easier. They can't DI that. They can't DI the hit, to counter hit me. So instead of doing more of it risky but optimal, I guess, things that you should be doing, I'll go for a suboptimal thing just because it's a tad bit safer. And the possibility that I may lose something out of it. Which sort of goes through, I guess, our discussion topic for the week, which is mentality. And basically, I'm just going to go through my mentality that I've dealt with, starting off, how it is now, and kind of what I want it to be in the future. And it's very, very easy for me to say what I want it to be like in the future, and that is I want it to be like how it was in the past. So it's only been like 7 weeks in of this podcasting, so not too long, but enough, and we've seen each other like improve enormously with a lot of aspects. And we've taken and we've given and taken a fair share of amounts of things. And one of the first discussions that we had in the beginning was strengths and weaknesses of players. And my largest strength that I think I had was that I love melee. I love playing melee. It's fun playing melee. And the urge, I think, a lot of people wake up that play melee and just like, man, I can't wait till I get to play with someone, and I still have that, but back when it started out, like, it was just like 7 weeks ago, and not even like 4 weeks ago, it was such a joy just to play with people and just to be there to have a group that really wanted to see each other improve, um, and everything like that. But recently, in the past like two, like I guess it started maybe like the end of the third week, end of like the well, that would be like the fourth week. Um, I started having significantly worse mentality. Um, I used to never get frustrated in games. I was just like, no matter what, it was just a joy. Whether I win, whether I lose, it, it didn't matter at all. I loved playing Melee. Um, and I loved not only seeing uh, myself improve, but my pod mates. Um, and that's not to say that like I want to see my pod mates do better than I can. That's the whole thing. Is uh, I I feel that intrinsically I can only get so good at this game, but I definitely I feel like with their minds and with the attitudes of my pod mates, and I really think that they can go far if they keep up the hard work. There's nothing in my doubt in my mind that makes me believe that they will stagnate and you know um, don't have the chance of becoming something really good. Um, I'm not saying that they're going to be the next Mango or the next Armada or anything like that. But I can definitely see them if they put in the devotion, if they put in the time, that they become, you know, maybe ranked in their PR of their state. And I think that would be really cool, and I'd be so happy for them. Um, and in the beginning, it was very it was just a joy to play Melee and to have like a focus of improving with other people. Um, and so it was. I wouldn't say it's different from now. I still really want to see them succeed. Um, I really do. It's not. If there's anything like I just want them to be able, not even succeed in the traditional sense of like, being able to take tournaments off of, and make upsets or anything like that. But I just want them to reach the point where they basically came out of this pod improvement thing and feel like they're satisfied with their where they are and where they're going. Um, and as long as they're satisfied with and reach their goals that they've, I think that's great. Not I don't think that you need to. I guess if you want to improve, yeah, you gotta have the mentality that you want to be the best. But and the other part though, like, I don't quite believe that. I think there's no secret. I don't think there's a secret thing to be the best, to be really good. I think there needs to be a drive to improve. I think there needs to be a drive to put in the work and the effort and the mindset to improve and to really you know do things that you couldn't have done before. Um, and beware of the things that you could and couldn't before, and the things you can and will do in the future. I don't think that they're mentally. I don't think that there's a. You don't have to think I'm going to be the next Armada in order to improve. And I don't think that you need to believe that and want to be the very, very, very best to be the very, very, very best. Um, then again, that's easy to say as I am at a pretty low level in Melee. But in terms of mentality, you know, it's you got to do what works for you, um, and that's the thing. And so by saying that you know you need to have X, Y, or Z mentality, that doesn't make sense to me. Um, and so yeah, I think everyone needs to find sort of what drives them, you know, how it drives them, and there's no there's no something that you need or you know need not do. You know, it has to fit you as a person. You know, because everyone's mind is different. But that being said, you know, I in the past just I loved I loved just playing Melee. You know, um, I loved just being able to improve and everything like that. Um, and it was just nice to have people who had the same mentality and in terms of wanting to improve. And I found out, you know, like, man, my podmates that I panicked the first time when they said that they were rearranging the pods. I like woke up and I saw the text on my phone, and I was just like, holy shit, no! Like I have a great, you know, I have great pods. Um, I still do. You know, that's I would not want any other people. Um, I couldn't ask for a better pod. You know, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Everyone's very down to earth and realistic. Um, and we all have our different strengths and weaknesses, and we give and take with each other. And it's such a joy just to be with them. But in the past, I guess 3 weeks, you know, maybe two and a half, I just my mentality now I think is the lowest it's ever been. I get frustrated really easy. I find that I give up a lot of situations, a lot of just matches. I just mentally, I just can't. I used to be unbreakable, man. Like, it's just like it doesn't matter. Like, nothing phases me because all I wanted to do was play melee. All I wanted to do was improve. Um, not even that. Like, not even improving. I mean, I guess we were all there to improve, but my focus was just, you know, just to play good, fun melee. Um, and now that we've gotten into it and we see how far we can do with consistent and conscious practice, you know, I think we've all tasted a sense of you know that what we can be, and I think that sort of daunts me because you know I just personally want to be you know I want to be okay at the game. You know, my goal is not to be the next Yamada. I don't really want to be in the PR. Because that sort of means that people will know who you are and they'll know your name and everything like that. Don't, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with the publicity. I can't deal with, you know, having my name out there. That's not something that I want. I just want to be good. I just want to be able to control my character in the way I want to. Um, but that taste of what we can be sort of daunts me because it's there and it's the way that I can achieve that goal, that personal goal of, you know, doing what I want with my character. And unfortunately you realize that other people are in the way of that. Um, even though it's a personal goal, even though it's something that you want to do, and it's not, you know, they're not like pinning you down and like, you know, waterboarding you, but by playing them in a match, you know, your goal to do things that you want to do, they are really, you know, it's a fighting game. They're gonna try to make that not happen. And in a sense, I do like that. I'm a highly competitive person. I think I really like knowing that there's someone out there that just, you know, doesn't want to see you win or wants to win instead of there can only be one person who's winning in the match, and having that conflict is it's nice, but for me it's just like it's sort of in my mind now that in the way, and that's like such a negative way of looking at it, because no one's in your way. We're playing a game, and that's the one thing I've lost, is that I've lost the mentality that we're playing a game and that we're all here to improve. And I think part of that is that because we sort of tasted the possibility of what we can be with all this practice, and because of that, I think I've just, in terms of negativity, I give up at situations where I wouldn't even have thought I'd have a constant smile, and it's I feel bad about it as well, because it's just like, we're all playing a game. We all want to see each other improve. We all want to see each other have fun as well. There's no doubt about that. No one likes to see the other person. At least I don't think you should. But no one should see another person and be like, if they're not having fun, then I've done my job. I basically, that was my intention going into the game, is to make sure the other person doesn't have any fun. I think that's such a crappy attitude, and I don't think anyone, at least they shouldn't have that mentality. But yeah, in the past I had this unshakable optimism and smile, and now I just, I don't know. It's maybe it's just because it's now it's work now that I see that we're improving, but it's more about improving. It's about having fun, and that's such a different mindset. And the two aren't mutually exclusive, but for me, they weren't hand in hand. It was just like, let's play Melee. Let's let's just have fun playing a game that we really like. And it just so happens that by doing so, we'll also improve by surrounding our lives with this game. But now that improvement is sort of really our goal, we're at the point where we see that improvement is what we're thirsting for. When you see yourself do bad, or when you see that you're not improving, it takes a toll on you mentally. It becomes something that you yearn for, and instead of just yearning for playing the game and loving playing the game, you're more concerned with improving. And so when you lose against something, you take that as you're not learning. And that's kind of pernicious in the sense that there's always going to be something you can improve on. There's always going to be facets in your game that people are going to take advantage of. There's going to be facets that you're going to be able to take advantage of, and use to improve yourself. No one is perfect. Some would argue Armada is, but even then, if you're not playing, at task levels of perfection 20xx hashtag, then there's always something you can improve on, and there's always going to be something that people are going to be able to make use of, and so when you see yourself try to do something and it doesn't work, or you find yourself losing and it takes a toll on you, at least it takes a toll on me, mentally, because in your mind you're just like, oh, I'm not improving because I'm not winning. And back then, what I did, and this is just simple, psychology, which is instead of going into matches and focusing and basically considering a win or loss the who has the last stop at the end of the game, you set micro goals. You just like, okay, I'm gonna go and run and shine to, I don't know, Nea. So every time you run into run into shine into Nea, you're going. That's a win for you. And regardless of the outcome, regardless whether you lose or whether you win, you still succeeded in your goal. And the problem is, I think, is that I've been placing way too much on that win, on those things, and I've placed way too much value on not succeeding rather than the things that I can be working on. For instance, one of my podmates, we're very neutral heavy, and we use a lot of dash dances and stuff like that. And his dash dances are I admit, they're much better than me, than mine. And he does really, really well with them. And usually while I'm with punishing people and forcing them to commit to a move and punishing it, he does the same exact. He makes me look like he made a book on me. But recently I've been doing better with getting whiff punishes, and my dash dancing have become pretty good, almost up to par to him. I would say maybe a bit better. Recently I've been able to definitely call out a lot of his things that he'd throw at me. So, but instead of focusing on that and being like, I've gotten this down and seeing the positive things, I'm looking at, I'm not winning. And when I'm winning, it doesn't feel like a win. And I think that happens to a lot of people. Is like, people are just like, in order to win, I need to be at least, two stock, like a stock and one stock at like 59%, and I need to win like with like two stocks left. And instead of realizing that a win on the game screen, there's two types of winning, which is the one that you mentally set, the goals that you mentally set for yourself, and who wins the match. Obviously, who wins the match in the competitive setting matters the most. If you win, you're going to get placed higher in tournaments. That's just true. Whether the person SDs 4 times because, they have technical flubs, you can only control what you can do. And so a win is a win in a competitive setting. Whether it's your fault or whether it's their fault. SDs are legitimate things. If they keep doing things that get them killed by themselves, you take use of that. You put them in situations that force them to make those mistakes, that maximizes that amount of mistakes. But in other settings, and even in competitive settings, you have to set your goals, and you have to realize that it's not about how much you win. A win is a win. Like, be satisfied with a win, and that's the one thing, is that, like, I feel like if I don't win in a certain way or to a degree that I'd like, then it devalues the win. Like, a close call is not legitimate. And then to make it worse, you get into situations where you play these people that either you can't figure out, or you'll win very, very closely, and then the next game they just body you, like 3-stock you, and then you win consistently, but when they win, it's just like they body you. That's very, very bad for the mentality, and you get really, really, like, you get really tilted by that, because you're just like, well, I mean, why is it when I win, we always go even, but when they win, it's always like they just body me. It's either, you know, it's either a long drawn out match where you have to put in your effort, and then so it's because you feel, and I've said this yesterday, and it's fallacious, and that's why I'm sort of making the video to sort of state it now, is that that's fallacious. The fact is that it doesn't matter whether you, ultimately it doesn't matter whether they have an easier time or not defeating you than you take. You know, if you win, you win, but you have to put value on the goals that you set, and how well that you play this too. That's very important. Is that if you constantly look to improve instead of getting that W, then you're gonna be in a better spot in the future. And it doesn't matter how much effort you put into it versus how much effort they put into it. You can't, you can't change another person and how they react and how well they do against you. You can only do what you can do. And if that means that you win by the, skin of your teeth versus, them bothering you, then losing really badly, that's what it is. And I think at this moment, I've been so intensely focused on improving, is that no matter what, like, I'll give up on situations that I shouldn't, because I feel like, I put too much weight on the little things, and not so much weight on the little things, but I put too much negative emotion into the little things, like, if I see myself get caught in a situation multiple times, even though I know that I should avoid it, and even though I know the steps to avoid it, I'll just like, I'll give up. I'll just let the situation happen. And that doesn't make sense, because if you give up in those situations, if you let those situations happen and you get hit, you're going to lose more often, because whenever that situation arises, you're going to let yourself get hit, and so they'll keep on doing it, and so you'll keep on getting hit. Like, it doesn't make sense. And so, giving up, literally, if you give up, you are just, the more you give up, the more that you'll give up. That's the thing. The more you give up, the more you lose, because they'll always keep doing the things that will make you lose the quickest and most efficiently. That's just how it is. So by giving up on situations, you basically resign yourself to a loss. And that's the thing, is people just think, giving up resigns you from, if you give up, then, you're not really trying, so it doesn't really count. That doesn't make sense at all. That's not true at all. You give up, and you've lost. You've basically said, I accept that I'm going to lose. But it's not legitimate. And that makes, you can't pick and choose. You lost, you gotta own up to it. And that's the thing. At this time, like, I gotta stop seeing things as, it happens, and so, now they basically won. I'm too focused on every little thing mattering, when I just have to, I have to go, okay, that's that. I'm not making use of the things that I can be making use of. And my mentality, because of that, is pretty god awful at the moment. Just because it's bad mentality. It's bad, wrong, malicious mentality. Um, I'm too focused on really stupid things that shouldn't be focused on, instead of legitimate things, and just loving the game as well. And I get frustrated now very easily because I feel like, when I see that loss or when I see those situations that I just get bodied in. It just, to me, it feels like it doesn't matter what happens. It's lost, and so it's a matter of winning and losing rather than improving. When you face win or lose things, it's not healthy. It's not right. You can't improve for that. So instead of being like, I got caught in the laser to shine, instead of being like, I either win or lose that situation, it could be like, oh, well, I got hit, but I also DI'd the shine, so he didn't get a follow-up. And instead of thinking like that, by placing I either win or lose, a black and white situation, you can't improve. Because that's not true, So if you're getting caught in if I'm getting caught in something, if instead of like, I got caught in shine, after the laser, even though I know it was going to happen, instead of looking at it and saying like, well, I DI'd it well, so he didn't get any follow-ups, and so I should, I have that capability in me, which is a lot more positive, which is more correct in order to improve. It's either it's such a negative, and instead of well, I got hit by shine and I was able to DI it, but I could also technically shield as well and just wait for it to end and then grab him out of it. Like, that's basically what you could do as well. So instead of looking at the situations, you're placing a win or lose, a black and white outcome instead of thinking about it, instead of making it a part of who you are. It's a condition, and that makes no sense for improving. So in the past, I was very focused on just playing the game and enjoying it, and really, like, that it was a time to improve, and we're all here to improve, so we're all gonna improve, and we did. But now, when improving becomes the crux, you need to get another mentality. I need to get another mentality. I can't be using the same mentality as I was before. Though it was a good mentality, I was happy, I was enjoying playing, but at this time, I just need to shift mentality, and that's okay. It's okay to not have the same mentality as you were before. You change as a person as well when you learn different things, when things come to different light. That's growing up. That's maturing. And just like in LA, just like, you have to mature depending on what you learn and what you don't learn, and you become to learn to use different things as a person as you learn them. And so, what's the mentality I want for the future? Well, I want to still obviously enjoy the game, but I can't be using the mentality as I started, because we are here to improve, most of all, and so we all need to improve. That's our focus, is just to improve. It's not just about playing the game anymore. we're here to make conscious and deliberate and put in the hard work. So you're not going to improve by just playing the game, you know. That's just not how it works. You have to think about it, and you have to put in the hard work, and that requires a different mindset, you know. So if you're going to focus on improving, then you have to put the emotional investment and the emotional positivity and frame the way that you think and how you want to improve in congruency of improvement, you know, and trying to maximize improvement while minimizing bad habits that you may learn, because you always learn bad habits regardless, you know. Just because you're improving doesn't mean that you're also not, you're getting worse at things before. Again, take my mentality from the beginning to now, which is, you know, I've lost my mentality because it just didn't work. I got better at a lot of things, at follow-ups, at punishing, at my dash dancing, at edge guarding. I've gotten much better at it. But my mentality got worse. And so as you learn, as you gather new information and make use of it, you have things that you learn, and you have things that you do worse in. And you know, that's okay, because you're always going to have things that you need to improve on. So don't always think like, if I'm not improving on everything at the same thing, like I would think to myself, and I did yesterday, I thought to myself, you know, my mentality is worse, but it should be better since I'm improving. But that's not how it works. It's not, you know, you gotta, it's gotta be congruent, you know. It's not like everything automatically gets better just because you improve. You improve in different areas. You don't improve at everything at once. And the only way you improve at a specific area is by specifically attempting and consciously looking at it. And that's what this video is for, is looking at my mentality, because I see that it's a lot worse than it was, and I want to see it better, because it's not only better for me, but everyone else in the pod as well. Because if I'm in a negative attitude, then I look at everyone in a negative light, and they don't learn as much when I have a lot of insights that I could give to them. And so not only am I hindering myself, but I'm hindering everyone else. And that's not excusable. If anything, as I said before, I don't want to be the best. I have no goals to be the best. I just want to be able to be at a point where I can consistently do things, you know, as the Smash documentary, as PC Chris says, and as many people will say, the game gets a whole lot better when you're able to do certain things. It's like a whole new game, and it becomes a whole lot more fun. And I want to get to that point where I'm able to do that and have that fun, you know. That's where I kind of want to be. I don't really care to be in the PR. I don't really care to be the best, but I want to be proficient at it. I want to be able to control my character. I want to be able to do the things that I couldn't do before. And so how am I going to do that? Well, improving is how I'm going to do that. But it needs to be a different attitude that I'm taking, because by just playing the game, I'm not going to improve. By just enjoying the game, I'm not going to improve, and because of that, I'm not going to reach the end goal of being proficient at it. But at the same time, I can't have the positive mentality that I had before, because it's not congruent of improving. So what am I gonna do? One, I'm obviously going to look at situations and one, not give up again. You know, I'm gonna look at situations and I'm gonna frame them in context and things that are um, more healthy and positive. I'm gonna look at things and I'm not gonna focus. My goal is to a win for me, or you know, a goal for me to achieve is to look at situations and afterwards look at the positive sides and the other situations I can. So literally, my goal is just to think about situations in the game, and as long as I think about those things, and as long as I'm aware of those situations, then that is I have achieved my goal. So instead of focusing on winning or losing, I'm going to be focusing on analyzing, and just not giving up on micro things and not worrying about whether or not I'm improving, because improvement is only reveals itself through time. You have to start at one place and end at another in order to show improvement. So you can't ever see improvement in the moment. You have to look at it as a context. You know, so I'm gonna focus on that. Just being aware of things, and just trying to think about things more. And I think that will also help, because it's how I was thinking just wasn't. It doesn't help me anymore, and it's not the correct way to think. It was like it helped a lot, but it isn't now. And so I have to change my mindset. But in the future, ultimately, I want to have my mindset as I was before, where I'm enjoying playing the game, where I'm enjoying learning from everyone, and I'll still have, once this pod thing ends, I feel I have made really good friends, and I would see my pod mates and myself improve dramatically, and I think I've made good friends out of it. I've met really great people, even out of my pod. I met an Ice Climber main, absolutely, fantastic person, bodies me consistently, but I've gotten better at it. And then there's this Peach main who I haven't played him in a while. I still think that because he's probably improving as much as I am, that he's probably going to be able to dispatch me without too much of a problem. But he's super, super nice as well. So I've met all these great people, and regardless, I'll see them flourish, and I'll see myself flourish as well. And just knowing that we all were part of helping each other improve and learn and just be able to get to play and learn and be better at this game is, I think ultimately that is going to be the highlight of it. So yeah, it's that's the discussion. It's a bit long. I think probably over an hour now. I've sort of rambled on. It definitely was choppy, but and then and then I kind of made my point, which is, in the past I played and I had a good mentality because I was focusing on playing and improving. But now it's not so much about playing; it's about improving, and I can't just have fun playing because my goals and my wants have changed from just playing and improving to improving on the game. Um, so I obviously have to change mentality. I have to look at situations and just analyze them and be okay with having things that I need to improve on, and not worry about if I have to try so much and what the other person is putting in as well. You know, regardless whether I win or not at the end, in the long run, what matters to everyone is that we improve. And the only way that we can do that is by looking at things and analyzing them. Um, and not putting a black and white win or lose situation on a lot of things. Yeah, and in the future, I gonna get to the point where I can enjoy just playing as well. Um, but I'll have a whole lot of tools at my disposal, and yeah, I'll be able to see everyone flourish as well, which will be great. Um, my hands are really fucking cold. Yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. Um, and yeah, this is a long. I don't even know how long. Probably like an hour. Probably more. Um, so, but yeah, it's Mm, I was gonna do something, but I forgot what it was. um, Keep pressing B too quick, so I can do a get up attack. Ah! Alright guys, I'm gonna call that for now. I'll probably be streaming back later.